Have you ever stood at a crosswalk, waiting for the little white walking symbol to appear? You see it light up, and you start across. But as you get halfway, that little symbol starts to flash, or worse, it's replaced by a big, red, unblinking hand. Suddenly, a little jolt of anxiety hits you. Can I make it? Do I need to speed up? That simple, everyday experience, that feeling of racing against the light, is more than just a minor inconvenience. It's a real-world test, and the results can tell you a surprising amount about how you're aging. Welcome to Elderly Discoveries. Today, we're not just talking about walking. We're talking about how you walk, and specifically, the speed at which you do it. It's something so fundamental, we rarely give it a second thought. But in the world of geriatrics and health science, your gait speed is being called the sixth vital sign, right alongside your blood pressure, heart rate, temperature, respiratory rate, and pain level. That's a bold claim, but the evidence to back it up is staggering. The simple act of walking, the speed at which you move from point A to point B, holds a profound secret about your health, your longevity, and perhaps most importantly, your future independence. It's a full-body report card, written with your feet. Let's consider a story, a situation many of us might recognize. Let's call her Eleanor. At 78, Eleanor was the cornerstone of her family and her community. She lived independently, prided herself on her daily walks to the local market, and never missed her weekly bridge game. But over the course of a year, her daughter, Sarah, started to notice subtle changes. When they'd walk together in the park, Sarah found herself unconsciously shortening her stride to match her mother's pace. Phone calls with Eleanor started to include new phrases like, "Oh, I didn't feel like going out today," or "the walk to the store just seemed a bit too far." The biggest clue came when Eleanor confessed she'd given up her beloved gardening, not because she'd lost interest, but because she felt unsteady on her feet when carrying the watering can. She had a quiet, growing fear of falling. Eleanor wasn't sick in the traditional sense. She had no new diagnosis, no major illness. She just slowed down. To many, this might just seem like a normal, inevitable part of getting older. But it's not. This slowing pace was a signal flare. It wasn't the cause of her problems. It was a symptom of a collection of smaller, interconnected issues. Her walking speed was the outward expression of what was happening inside. A physical therapist finally put a number to it. Using a simple stopwatch over a marked distance in a hallway, they measured Eleanor's gait speed. It was 0.6 meters per second. To put that in perspective, research consistently shows that a speed of about 1.0 meter per second is a key threshold for maintaining a high level of independence and a lower risk of health problems. Eleanor was significantly below that. So, what was really going on? Why does something as simple as walking speed reveal so much? Because walking isn't simple at all. It is one of the most complex, coordinated activities your body performs. It requires constant communication between your brain, your nerves, your heart, your lungs, and your entire musculoskeletal system. If there's a weak link anywhere in that chain, it will show up in your gait. For Eleanor, her slowing speed was a result of several factors. First, she was experiencing sarcopenia, the gradual, age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. Her leg muscles, particularly her quadriceps and glutes, simply weren't as powerful as they used to be, making each step more of an effort. Second, a bit of arthritis in her knees made her hesitant to put her full weight down, leading to shorter, more tentative steps. And third, that fear of falling created a vicious cycle. Because she was afraid, she walked less. Because she walked less, her muscles and balance got worse. Because they got worse, her fear of falling increased. Her world was literally shrinking, one slow step at a time. But Eleanor's story doesn't end there. The measurement of her gait speed was the turning point. It transformed a vague feeling of slowing down into a concrete, measurable problem with a clear path toward a solution. Her physical therapy program wasn't complicated. It focused on two main areas, strength and balance. She did simple sit-to-stand exercises from a sturdy chair to rebuild her leg strength. She practiced standing on one foot while holding onto her kitchen counter to retrain her balance. And she started walking intentionally, not just for errands, but for exercise, gradually increasing her pace and distance. Within 3 months, her gait speed had improved to 0.9 meters per second. It was still a work in progress, but the difference was life-changing. She was walking to the market again. She felt confident enough to tend to her potted plants on the patio. She had taken back control. Eleanor's story highlights the musculoskeletal side of things, but the implications of gait speed go even deeper, reaching right into our brains. Think about it. To walk, your brain has to manage balance, coordinate limb movement, process visual information from your surroundings, and adapt to any changes in terrain, all at the same time. It's a huge cognitive task. When a person's gait begins to slow for no apparent reason, it can sometimes be one of the earliest, most subtle signs that the brain is struggling. It's as if the brain's processing power is being diverted. More cognitive resources are required just to manage the act of walking, leaving less available for other things. This is why numerous studies have found a powerful link between a slower gait speed in older adults and a higher risk for developing cognitive impairment and even dementia down the line. It's an early warning system that we absolutely cannot afford to ignore. Then there's the cardiovascular connection. Your walking speed is a direct reflection of your body's ability to take in oxygen and deliver it to your working muscles. If your heart and lungs aren't functioning efficiently, your muscles will fatigue quickly, and your natural response is to slow down. Someone who can maintain a brisk walking pace, enough to get a little breathless, but still hold a conversation, is demonstrating good cardiorespiratory fitness. A person who gets winded walking slowly from the car to the front door may be showing signs of underlying heart or lung issues. In this way, your gait speed acts as a practical, real-world stress test that you perform every single day. It tells a story about the health of your most vital organs. Now let's consider another person. We'll call him David. David is 64. He's healthy, active, and watched both of his parents slow down significantly in their late 70s. He saw their independence diminish, and he's determined to write a different story for himself. He doesn't wait for a problem to arise. He decides to be proactive. He learns about the importance of gait speed and decides to test himself. He measures out a 15-foot-long path in his hallway, gets his wife to time him, and walks it at his normal pace. He does the math, distance divided by time, and finds his speed is a healthy 1.2 meters per second. He's in a great place, but he doesn't stop there. He uses this number as his baseline, his benchmark. He understands that maintaining this speed is an active process. So, David incorporates specific movements into his life. He doesn't just walk. He purposefully includes periods of brisk walking on his daily stroll with the dog. A couple of times a day, while waiting for the coffee to brew, he does heel-to-toe walking, placing one foot directly in front of the other, as if on a tightrope, to challenge his balance. While watching the news, he does simple leg lifts and calf raises to maintain his lower body strength. These aren't huge, time-consuming workouts. They are small, intentional habits woven into the fabric of his day. For David, his gait speed isn't a source of anxiety. It's a source of empowerment. It's a metric he can track and influence, a key performance indicator for his goal of a long, active, and independent life. So how can you do this for yourself? It's surprisingly simple. The gold standard in clinics is the 4-meter walk test, but you can easily adapt it at home. Measure out a clear, straight path of about 15 or 20 feet. Put a piece of tape or a book at the start and at the finish. Start walking a few feet before the starting line, so you're at your normal, comfortable walking speed when the timing begins. Have a friend or family member time you from the moment your first foot crosses the start line until your first foot crosses the finish line. Then, do the simple calculation. Divide the distance you walked in feet or meters by the time it took in seconds. To convert feet per second to meters per second, you can multiply the result by 0.3048. And remember that magic number, 1.0 meter per second. Think of it as a benchmark for robust health. If you're well above it, fantastic. Like David, your goal is maintenance. If you're at or just below it, now is the perfect time to take action. If you're significantly below it, like Eleanor was, it's a clear sign that you should speak with your doctor or a physical therapist. It's not a reason to panic, it's a reason to act. A professional can help you rule out any underlying medical causes, like medication side effects, vision problems, or neurological issues, and help you create a safe, effective plan to improve. The plan will almost certainly come back to the fundamentals we saw in Eleanor's recovery: strength, balance, and endurance. Build strength with exercises like chair squats and standing leg raises. Improve your balance by practicing standing on one leg or walking heel to toe. And boost your endurance by gradually increasing the time and intensity of your walks. Start where you are. If a 5-minute walk is all you can manage, that's your starting point. Next week, try for 6. The goal is progress, not perfection. The speed at which you walk across a room, down the street, or through a park is a story. It's the story of your muscle strength, your cardiovascular health, your neurological processing, and your confidence. It's not a final chapter, written in stone. It's a living document that you have the power to edit, revise, and improve every single day. Paying attention to your gait speed isn't about worrying about getting older. It's about taking an active role in how you age. It's about preserving the freedom to go where you want to go, to do what you want to do, and to live life on your own terms. It's about making sure that when that crosswalk light starts flashing, you have all the time in the world. Thank you for joining us on Elderly Discoveries. Here's to many more steps on many more discoveries.